Actually, since we have discussed in detail, for the last 2 days about volume one of construction safety manual, and the one volume is all about the requirements, administrative requirements or general requirements, general safety requirements, like related to different segments. But now, little bit a technical part, like if we talk about machines and equipment, what are the safety rules defined by Saudi Aramco? Now, same way, if we are dealing with ionization radiations or ionizing radiations, or even somewhat we call electrical equipments or different segments. So, what are the standardized safety rules from Saudi Aramco side? So, let's start with volume two, chapter two, mechanical and heavy equipments. Now, again, the real challenge as a safety leader, the first task is to understand, and then we will make sure proper implementation and everybody also following the same. What is happening is if we as a safety leader don't understand the requirements, we can't implement anything. You know, in line with the Aramco standards. That is why this subject reference for General Saudi Aramco General Instructions GIs like 7.024 is all about marine and offshore crane, hoist and rigging operations. And the GI 7.025, which is more relevant to onshore, heavy equipment operator testing and certification for sure, and even for offshore. GI 7.030 inspecting and testing requirements for elevating lifting equipment. And also we will discuss Saudi Aramco forklift operations guide and some of the NC standards, mounted rotating and elevating platforms, manually propelled, this elevating work platforms, even boom supported elevating, working at height. And falling is you'll be surprised, sleep, trips, and fall. And especially fall still is the number one cause of fatalities globally. You know, falling from height actually, this is still the number one cause of fatalities. That means very less chances of survival. You know, if suddenly if a person is just slips, not falling, just slips, even sometimes it's hard to recover him. So, because the whole body shredded up and it's a sudden shock actually, heart doesn't beat up and even brain stop to give messages. Several things happen just because of this sudden shock. That is why it is always recommended if you want to give any bad news to any employee, like somebody died suddenly from their family, God forbid, even giving that bad news take time, make him relax, make him, tell him some hadith or some, Quranic, and that this word is temporary or something like that. And then you should tell him that news, Otherwise, even sudden terrible news could be dangerous to create maybe a heart attack, maybe, the brain hemorrhage, something like that. So in that requirement, of course, we truly need to understand how that working at height need to be handled. And transport platforms also we'll discuss and see, these are the requirements. Now, what are the general requirements, which are, of course, more important to share here? Equipment shall be inspected on regular basis by competent heavy equipment inspector mechanic. Mr. Fawaz, it's not like the specific equipment. Any equipment you have, no harm to inspect it properly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, even for that reason, we have plenty of people on board, and that is why no harm to understand these requirements and make sure they are implemented through checklist. I give you an example. Several checklists are there, but just tick, 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 and the game is over. Okay, that means this they fulfill. Uh, just 1 minute. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, well, Mr. was actually somebody was there, so he was
Yeah,
just,
I know, bro.
that's why might be he actually knocked 2 or 3 times, so I thought maybe he'll go back, but he didn't. So no problem. That's
No
why I
problem.
entertained. Okay, so gender requirements we were talking about, and hope you remember yesterday we talked about wherever we see the word shell, that means it's became more important
Yeah,
and mandatory also. So personnel shall make eye contact with operators, use high visibility vests, maintain clearances, and also reverse alarm shall be audible, you know. And how we can check either the alarms are audible, at least some inspection must be there. The genuine one, not the fake inspection, just tick, 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 that everything is okay. And working on all equipment, an operator shall dismount equipment while maintenance or repair work is ongoing. Cab shall not have obstructions, quite general safety requirements. And also the curtains or the cardboard on windows, and gasoline or diesel powered equipment, that is the important point, should never be operated inside the buildings or confined spaces, because when diesel and petrol burns it create carbon monoxide, and above than 35 ppm parts per million of this carbon monoxide is became poisonous, it became toxic. That means
yeah,
breathing issues. But the more that other gases are there, less would be the oxygen. And lack of oxygen is one of the biggest reason of sudden deaths, especially in the confined spaces. Okay.
yeah,
No. So there is another, like you see the picture, that's not acceptable. Person shall not rest, sleep, or see shade under mechanical or heavy equipment at any time. Okay. Operators of equipment not requiring Saudi Aramco certification as per GI 7.025 shall be trained, tested, and authorized by their employer. Now, employer is fully authorized, might be they can come to us and we'll issue third party training certificate and ID just to give them an ID, the valid ID for 2 years, that these guys are trained, certified, and even the company can issue a letter to make them authorized as an operator,
yeah,
So what I mean is, for every statement, there must be an evidence. And especially we as a safety leader have to work on documentation. Now, mechanical equipment, portable air compressors, same way they equipped with the safety relief valves. Air receivers periodically inspected and documented, and also equipped with emergency shutdown switch. Uh,
yeah,
Mr. Fawaz, few of, during one of the company I noted, there were some sensors on the machine, okay?
yeah.
And I noted the tape on it, you know,
Yes.
we just took, the tape like this, remove and paste. Now I asked the gentleman, why you put that tape on the sensor? So the surprising answer was, because we don't want to stop the machine, it will create a lot of loss for production. And who guided you to put tape on sensor? The maintenance team, because they are busy for other jobs. You got my point, Mr. Fawaz.
Yeah,
This is sometime the way to take shortcuts, and this shortcut, we already agreed and have a mutual consensus that you can't be lucky every time, right?
of course.
Okay, so, but it's a behavior, it's a mindset, and changing that behavior, of course, required a lot of motivational powers, your communication power,
Yeah,
and the way you convince people and you impress them with your behavior also as a role model. That's all things matters, That is why it's not an easy job, by the way, to be a safety leader.
yeah,
Okay, people think it's kind of a very easy job. No, no, it's not easy. The moment you do it honestly, you hardly could get a chance to spare even some time at home, for enjoying here and there. Like in my case, always studying, learning, learning is my daily
yeah,
habit. You have to be a continual learner, It's not like just you learn something and now you are telling I know everything. It's more than enough for me. That's not the way to work as a safety leader. Every day, because it's kind of an ocean, Mr. Fawaz. Talk about any activity. In one of the company, even we create a SOP or kind of a work instruction or safety instructions, even for stapling the papers. Because we noted some people, there was a lot of use of stapler and their fingers were always, damaged. So we
Oh,
created even the safety instruction how to step it, because this is choice is yours. How much the ideal level safety system you want to establish. Like Aramco, they have an ideal safety management system. Asha. The thing is our willingness to follow, right? Otherwise, system is there. No goggles and face shield required when using compressed air is cleaning purging task. Now, this compressed air. One of the incident, the person what he was doing on the machine, probably some bars are coming, the air,
yeah,
and now he's doing like this. After cleaning his cloth, the coverall and uniform, now he's putting like this, and see how powerful that air is. And it crossed Mr. Fawaz like a bullet, you know, because
yeah,
his power, his speed, and they have no
yeah,
idea. And he increased even their speed, to open the full valve, and the bars are coming for the machine, and you are not a, oh, no doubt you are a more complicated machine, but after all, you are a human being, It's just a skin, three layers of tissues, and after that, it's all bones, right?
yeah,
So, sometimes because they are not aware, because we didn't train them, because the trickle down knowledge effect was not there. Like I'm training you, but you are training to nothing. No one. Like you are consuming all the knowledge and keeping it with you, and not sharing with your all team members or with your employees. Of course, it will not be beneficial. Even a time will come, you will also forget.
yeah, right.
Here, people will always keep remember, oh, you told me this one, you know. So they keep your knowledge also refreshed. The choice is ours actually. Now, air compressor supplied breathing air, high efficiency filter must be there. A day before yesterday, on a day one especially, there was a SCABA, self-contained breathing apparatus, or SABA, supplied air breathing apparatus, or air purification mask sometimes. So
Yeah,
point is they must be highly efficient, with filter and also water and oil trap, continuous inline carbon monoxide monitor and alarm if oil lubricating compressor or fitted with air intake filters. See what level of knowledge is Saudi Aramco have shared with us. The only thing is to train ourselves and follow and implement, right? High
yeah,
temperature alarm on air output like 60 degree to 140 and air delivered to the operator's hood. It shouldn't be like 37 above. And also, maybe vertex tubes may be necessary, because according to the need, you truly have to design. That is why the purpose built sometime PPs you are using. Now, tested quarterly by GI 1780.001 by Saudi Aramco approved third party to ensure delivered air meets CGA grade D air quality. So, the diluted air, the air quality have to be, qualitative. Otherwise, no benefit. Let me give you an example. Like if we use a disposable mask, even
yeah,
against this COVID-19, and some people they were making holes, in the mask. Of course,
yeah,
they can't breathe in, so they don't understand the science actually. Even you wear the mask, still you can breathe in. The air will definitely go, but the filtered air, you'll get the oxygen, but the cleaned one. I mean,
yeah,
and that layer, of course, will stop COVID-19, that virus, and even other dust particles. But unfortunately, people, sometimes they are keeping it here, not wearing here. Sometimes they are cutting from inside and making sure they can eat even sometimes. You notice, some of the videos might be on YouTube. Even they eat, they drink along with the mask. They don't want to put it off and playing with, basically playing with themselves actually. So a lot of things are happening, Mr. Fawaz. Now, portable electrical generators, outlet equipped with functioning GFCI. Any idea what is GFCI?
GFCI? No.
We call it
Ground.
ground fault circuit interrupter. The
Yeah.
point is GFCI we can use for 110 to 120 volts maximum. 110 to 120 volts we can use GFCI. Otherwise RCD, residual current device, if it is above than that, like if 220 is there, okay, or 240 is there, we have to use RCD, residual current device.
Yeah.
So police fans belt shall be enclosed or guarded. No, the guarded mean every moving part, Mr. Fawaz. Every moving part on the machine have to be guarded. You know, if you believe as per your risk assessment, if it is unsafe and can trap, the people while walking or while working, even to the operator, so much better is to guard it. And not only guarding, even put a sensor. Use some safety locks to make it more comprehensive and more safer. Accessible stop button, shutdown switch for emergency shut off. Now, these kind of all things should be part of the machine design. You are buying a machine, so verify that all these functions are already well designed and the manufacturer have followed international regulations. And in line with that, Aramco requirements automatically fulfill. You got my point.
Yeah.
Buying a crane, you are buying a forklift. So before purchasing it, verify that all the safety devices are there. No safety devices missed. If anything is missing, don't buy it. Otherwise, tell the manufacturer we need some additional safety devices. Some sort of safety sensors or backup warnings or whatever. It's all a game of design. And 95% we can ensure safety in design phase actually. you know Imagine if a building is poorly designed, definitely it will be more unsafe. If it is designed poorly, if a machine is designed poorly, it will be more terrible killer for our employees. That is why
Yes.
the machine have to be fully designed according to the international standards. And then it's all game of end user, how he will take care. Sometimes the person is trained to drive a car, but you gave him the forklift also. He knows how to drive a car. He's a car driver, but you told him to drive forklift. What he gonna do?
You cannot.
So these are the silliest mistakes. Sometimes, the top management or the supervisors or the project managers, just because of having some shortcuts and because of some pressures, they utilize people and they are ready to kill themselves. I don't know. Mr. Fawaz, if I give you one scenario, the honest people always are the boss of themselves. But imagine if you still have a boss and he tell you from Huber go to Jubail in 30 minutes. There is an important meeting, be there in 30 minutes. He ordered you officially and he just left over. Now, what would be your strategy? Will you accept his instructions or
No, I will not follow. It will be too dangerous for me, so I will not kill myself because of him.
excellent? but definitely, uh, he'll not sometime, he'll be more irritated why you ignored his instructions, why you ignored his orders. But imagine, Mr. Fawaz, if there is another boss, the good one, and he gave you helicopter and he told you, Mr. Fawaz, sit in the helicopter and you will be in 20 minutes, you will be in Jubail and join the meeting with us. So a good boss always give responsibility along with resources, along with authorities.
Yeah.
I hope you got the point. So the first thing is, if somebody is saying be there in 30 minutes, ask him, sir, how? Sir, what are the resources, available resources?
Yeah.
Smile, don't lose your temper, don't be rude, don't be angry because otherwise it will go against you, right? So just ask politely, sir, what are the resources? Am I going through car or shall I going through some other sources? Then he will definitely start thinking, oh, I was in angry mood and now he caught me up. So he'll change his mind. Otherwise, one of my Saudi student, you know what he replied against this question?
What?
He told, sir, I will kill that boss. How come he can kill me by giving instructions like this? I don't like such people. Why he should go there in 30 minutes? If he can go there in 30 minutes, I can also go there. So people react, but that reaction is not a professional reaction. That's the point. You know,
Yeah.
I told you yesterday how to say yes or when to say yes and when to say no or how to say no. This is another kind of capability you need to develop within yourself. And for this reason, you have to be emotionally intelligent. You know, if you lose your temper, trust me, it will kill yourself, by the way, God forbid. Because if more angriness means you are killing yourself every day. Your stomach, your heart, your body is all affected because of the silliest mistakes of others or because of the poor behavior of others. So that means the game is to be mentally stronger, emotionally stronger, and then inshallah see the leadership, how you will be managing everything. And people will start following. They don't want to deny, by the way, because everybody in the company is came for work but might be no engagement. We couldn't give them the right way of doing things or we couldn't guide them properly or nobody knows what to do. Sometimes the plan is not there.
Yeah.
So in mechanical equipment, portable electrical generators also we can cover, the outlet equipped with functioning like GFCI. I told you 110 to 120, but if it is uh, uh, like 220 to 240, then make sure you use RCD, residual current device. Okay. Pulleys, fans, belts shall be enclosed or guarded, accessible to stop. Now, there is another requirement of Aramco for guarding. You have a machine and up to 8.2 feet, okay, up to 8.2 feet is need to be guarded. Any moving part, any moving part from the machine need to be guarded. Could be pulleys, fans, belts, that's all need to be guarded. Up to 8.2 feet. And in one of my projects in Michigan State, Beaverton, USA, even we covered from top because we think might be there would be intentional or unintentional sometimes the suicidal attempt, you know, that should also be safe. Somebody can jump into the machine because people sometimes they are over emotional and over aggressive and they lose their temper and they don't know what they're doing actually. So they can take any silliest decision. So in that context, you think 360-degree. Intentional and unintentional human errors, you have to prevent. Even you can sensorize the area. You understand, mashallah, all these things, right? Since you are
Yeah.
an electrical engineer. So so you put a lot of controls in. It's a game of technology to evolve. Now look at the forklift operator. The forklift equipped with overhead, first of all. So
Yeah.
nothing. No issue with the head, and also the seat belts need to be buckling up. That is why every day there must be inspection of forklift, and backup alarm should also be, fire extinguisher must also be there. Load shall always be in the uphill position, the uphill position, so it can't fall down, especially during traveling, or in client service. Load shall not be lowered or raised when forklift is moving, shall not be left running unattended. Okay, we can't leave it unattended. Like you just left your key and you went to take your tea. The key is
Yeah.
there, the tea is there. I know somebody else is trying. Okay, I can also drive. I can also have a test, So this is how sometimes we do mistakes. Now, forks shall not be raised when lift is parked and travel in. Now, the forks means, this, if you can see them, where we lift the load, that should be along with the ground, okay, when we are parking. But when we are driving, minimum or maximum, in other words, 8-inch high. Remember, Mr. Fawaz, 8-inch high from the ground, the forks, okay? More than that, it will affect the gravity, the
Yeah.
center balance of the load, and because it's pendulum, So if it is 1 ton forklift, again, think about 1 ton you are lifting through the forks, and where is the other 1 ton to keep the load balance? That is why the gravity have to be considered all the time to be maintained properly in a balance actually. The fork shall not be raised when lift is parked and travel in reverse when load obstruct view, and riding on forks is prohibited. Sometimes we take people stand on the forks and we lift up, raise up, and now it's changing lights. I have seen these scenes also, especially as an auditor. Okay, and because sometimes if was like if Saudi Aramco will hire us, like me and you, inshallah, and they're gonna say, okay, Ishtiyaq, Rana, and Fawaz, go and audit Aramco sites, but without any information to them, unannounced, undeclared audits. Then we will see, all the silliest behaviors, and we'll understand better the culture of uh, those sites or the plants or the rig sites or anywhere, even the residential compounds of Saudi Arabia. It's a great opportunity, if we are capable auditors, might be Aramco can hire us, and audit their sites. But yes, they will not hire if we are not internationally, globally certified, accredited. That is why yesterday I told you, create another goal to be the lead auditor of ISO 45001 Occupational Health and Safety Management System, inshallah. Okay. So only use equipment designed in proper model forklift for raising person by forklift. That's not acceptable. Now, excavator, look at, you know,
Yeah.
boom radius while in operation is prohibited, and make sure maintain a clearance of a minimum 2 feet or 0.6 meter from objects while performing, okay, swinging operations, and also use within 3 meter or 10 feet of any pipeline equipment or cable is prohibited. It's not allowed. This excavator, only excavator designed to perform lifting shall be used to raise, lower, or suspend a load. So these are the safety requirements also, well designed and described by Saudi Aramco.
Yeah.
Now, dumpers and dump trucks, because several heavy equipments are there. So dump bodies shall be fully lowered before leaving dump area, and dump bodies shall be blocked if it raised position for extended period, and stick lashes and also release mechanism shall be in working order. General instructions, and I will share all this material in PDF. Okay, because it's a huge file, and very bulky file. Might be I'll send via WhatsApp, or might be I'll try to email. Okay, but I'll share with you for reference for future. Even though you have CSM manual, but these presentations I'll still share with you in PDF. Okay, because in PowerPoint it's not easy to send. So they are the heavy material.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the mechanical and heavy equipment.